Bubble on the NBA campus in Orlando, Florida. It's the Lakers taking on the Orlando Magic as we get set for the second scrimmage of the restart. We take a look at the starting lineups. Of course, we'll start with the Los Angeles Lakers, led by LeBron James in his 17th season, looking like an MVP. Anthony Davis, JaVale McGee, Danny Green, and KCP. So nothing changes for the Lakers. And there's LeBron with the first bucket of the game, 2-0 Lakers. James, it's one of my favorite videos, and what's great about that is if you ever watch some of the stuff from the 08 Olympics, some of that footage, it's so great. He's doing full Kobe imitation. So LeBron James and Kobe Bryant, of course, teammates on 2 Olympic teams. Fournier with a three-pointer ties the game at 6. I agree with you, James. As LeBron gets to the basket, misses, but the follow-up, JaVale McGee.
Well, there was a fine example of a player that had a free layup, but he saw AD coming, and he altered an extra pass. They get the possession, and then it ends up with the McGee dunk.
Against the Lakers, DJ Augustin, one of those guys. You know what I mean, Allie?
Yeah, he can light it up.
AD, so smooth, Allie.
His defensive presence is amazing. A lot of things you don't see on the defensive end. The monster dunks that we've seen. He's a crowd favorite, but love this kid, and I know the coaches love him too. A lot of expectations.
We're going to talk a lot about Alex Caruso today, I'm sure. A good sign for Lakers. Kyle Kuzma hits his first 3. Kuz. And then LeBron down the lane where he's at his best, and the Lakers open up a 17-10 lead. I got to cover Vucevic when he was at USC. He has turned into a great NBA player. Kuz, off the pick, catch, fire, got it.
Yeah, Chris, the most simple way to think about Kuz's season is that his minutes and his field goal attempts just went way down from when he was starting and or just playing more minutes before AD got here. And that's to be expected as AD Heater finishes inside at the rim on a nice dish. So here's the thing for Kuzma, though, and Jared Dudley.
Yeah, both seem to fit in nicely with this team, being veteran guys. Of course, JR, the years he spent with LeBron James, as Kyle Kuzma is on fire. Another 3, his 3rd of the game.
Coach Fisher in here maybe to break down some of these technical plays. As AD gets poked in the eye, looks like Gator, he's going down.
You know, Coach Fish is in the bubble as well with the WNBA and the Sparks, as you see AD getting poked to the eye. And James, that has happened to you actually in your career, and you started wearing goggles after an eye injury. It was Kareem who told you to start wearing them.
Yeah, it was my second injury that I got poked in the eye. So take a look at the replay right here. You know, bigs in particular, because guards are always swiping at the ball upward or downward. So hopefully he'll be okay. But when I came back from an eye injury, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar noticed that I was going to the basket, and then I would do these little flip shots. I was afraid of the contact, so he advised me to wear the goggles, and it was a great thing to give me security in the game.
LeBron James back in, as you saw AD going to the locker room, and LeBron with an and one. He gets into the lane. Absolutely impossible to stop, James, as you had mentioned, and LeBron 30-15 going to the line.
Well, I'm in the studio eating an egg sandwich, so if it sounds kind of weird.
Is the food good, James?
LeBron's just too strong.
MCW playing for his 15 in a 6th season. Kuz wants one more. Got it! Kyle Kuzma. I'm deep.
2 things.
Taking on so young in his career. Just watch him now. Watch the confidence that never wavers. Dwight Howard, a man never lacking confidence, throws that one down.
Hopefully it's just a little poke, and he can come back here in the second quarter.
Mike Trudell, Lakers have gone a little cold, but you see Kuz sitting in that soft spot of the zone where LeBron was playing just a few minutes ago, and he hits the jumper. Kuz to handle the pick and roll with Dwight. Pull up. knock it down. Kyle Kuzma, 16 points. What a pick by Dwight Howard, 43-32. Quinn Cook, I thought, an underrated game as he pulls up off the screen, gets to that short 17 mark and buries it.
Great teams with great players without really good chemistry, doesn't always yield you a championship. So it's critical. Once you put the pieces together, you have to have guys that not necessarily love one another, but they have to like each other. They have to understand what roles they're bringing to the table.
In Orlando, you see Frank Vogel. And give us an update on Anthony Davis, Mike.
Yeah, Geeter, so Anthony Davis will not return to this game. We remember that he got poked in the eye in that first quarter. No further update as Quinn Cook gets a 3 to fall. AD's so dominant in the first quarter. Geeter, 10 rebounds in about 9 minutes plus those 9 points, but you saw him get poked in the eye. Not going to return. Hopefully we'll get some more information after the game from Frank Vogel.
Yeah, Geeter, he's that type of player. He has the mindset of a coach. Nice over-the-top lob from LeBron to McGee there, but get that coach one day when he retires. As you see LeBron James in the passing lane, there's he and Caruso on the defensive end. Nice slide, LeBron.
Guys are loving it.
Off the court almost, but yeah.
And Orlando, for shooting so poorly, find themselves down by only 12. Alex Caruso wants an and one, doesn't get it, but he lays it off the glass.
He's played some power forward in this game. Now he's playing point guard with Kuz in the game. No AD and Pope in the game. So
season game is going to look like. And it's interesting because even in the 8 seeding games, right, the Lakers don't really have to win, more than 1 or 2 to lock up that number 1 seed. But Vogel's been real consistent all season. When they're on a court, they want to set a certain tone and style. And you see now LeBron aggressively going to the rim out of that timeout there. It's just one of those things, Chris, that reiterates what Vogel's been pushing and what LeBron's been pushing.
KCP off the screen from LeBron. A few more dribbles from the left side. He hits the jumper. Aaron Gordon. JaVale McGee. Really nice pass by LeBron James up ahead. So quick. He sees KCP has a step on his defender. Gets in the ball on time, on target for the bucket. 72-64.
As you see, the miss by Gordon, rebound by McGee. See, he gets it up there. Bypassed about 3 defenders and gave Pope the edge to get to the bucket.
Yeah, strong take by KCP, too. We've been talking about him a lot ever since Avery Bradley announced that he would not be joining the team in the bubble.
Dudley said he's decent. Now, the other guys, JaVale McGee, Anthony Davis, they're Call of Duty experts. So that's the game that they play the most. But, yeah, you're right, man. The Quinn Cook is the guy that holds down the Madden for him.
So when Josh Hart was here, as you see LeBron, another layup down the middle.
74-72 Lakers. KCP into the lane. Lays it up and in. Memphis is in that spot. In the 9th spot, you have 3 teams basically tied in Portland, New Orleans, and Sacramento. Kuz to the rack, off the glass. 78-73. What a game for Kyle Kuzma in 21 minutes. And in a game where AD is not playing now because of the eye injury, Kuz picking up the slack. Kuz uses that body off the glass and good. It's now 80-73. 23 for Kuz, James. JR. And JR gets it to fall. He'll go to the line for a 3-point opportunity. Wide open missed layup. LeBron attacking. And LeBron converting. 89-87.
That's good.
Did that count?
Did that count? It went in.
Hold, please.
89-87. Quinn Cook off of 1 foot from 17 hits it this year. So definitely having to knock off the rust for these two.
All back in January. Dion looked pretty good in that first scrimmage.
Quinn Cook doesn't have the numbers, holds it up, gives it to Dion. Such a smart play by Quinn, not forcing it, gets the assist. Waiters gives the Lakers a 4-point lead.
See if Kuz can kind of recapture that first quarter burst that he had. Pretty good in the second quarter.
Dwight. It's interesting calling the game and not being able to see you guys, but I do appreciate you being there. Never want to interrupt a man when he's having a little brekkie. That's for sure.
No Insta stories from you in the 80s?
No cell phones till the 90s, really.
Dion Waiters.
It's coming alive.
Some physicality for this Laker team. All hustle and heart. And I agree with James. They're definitely going to miss Avery Bradley, no question about it. But this Laker team, James, has been next man up mentality all year. Great cross-court pass from Kuz to KCP, James, and he buries it 106-100.
A very mature move by Kuzma there, because normally he wants to take the one-on-one move, but he saw the defense helping out on baseline, found Pope, who was wide open, and there's a steal by Pope.
What a great read defensively, guys, and Clifford wants to talk about as the Lakers go on a much-needed 5-0 run to get a little breathing room. KCP off the handoff. Love that play. Lakers doing great.
Here's what Frank Vogel said about it. I'm going to read this quote. KCP has been one of the brightest parts of the season. He had a terrific stretch there, particularly the time Avery was out. After a little bit of a slow start, being one of the leaders on our team and playing harder than our opponent. Always a key to see a bucket there.
And unless you have to see something out of Marquise, you know, he's a veteran that really doesn't need these scrimmages, in my opinion. He's just ready to go when it's time for him to play.
And Dion Waiters given some breathing room. Waiters Island.
Who, coming into that first scrimmage, had played only 42 minutes the entire season.
And they are ready to roll during the restart. Thank you guys so much. It has been an honor. It's been a lot of fun to sit in this seat. Billy and Stu will be back on Monday at noon when the Lakers take on the Washington Wizards. The final score in Orlando, the Lakers win 119-112. For James, Allie, Brez, and Mike, I'm Chris McGee saying